welcome to week 4 of the Redgate Code Club. So my name is Ben, and I'm going to be leading the session today. I'm also joined by Stephen.
Hi.
And he's going to be watching the chat for any questions you send in. So if you get stuck, don't worry, just send in a question and we'll do our best to help you. Cool. So let's take a look at the project we're going to be working on today. So similar to before, we're going to be working on a project from the Raspberry Pi website. This project is called Colourful Creations. So let's see what we're going to be creating. So we're going to create this little poster, this animated poster. There's lots of different colors. Okay. So if you remember before, the first thing we need to do is open up Trinket. So to do that, we're going to go to the link jump2.cc/python-new. Okay. So if we go to that link, it's going to open up a fresh Trinket. If you have some stuff in here, code from here before, then don't worry, you can just remove that and get started today. Okay. So we'll just wait a second for everyone to get their blank Trinket open, ready to get started. Okay then, let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the turtle package. You might remember that we used the turtle package a couple of weeks ago. So to import the turtle package, we need to type from turtle import star. Now maybe you can remember what this means, but I'll go over it again. So this means from the turtle package, we want to import star, which means import everything. We're importing everything because we're going to be using a lot of different functions from the turtle package, so it's easier to import everything. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a screen variable. Okay. So we're going to type the word screen, because that's the name of our variable. And we're going to set that equal to screen. And this time, this screen has a capital S and has the open and close brackets afterwards. So this screen is part of the turtle package. So we're creating a variable called screen, and we're setting it equal to the screen from the turtle package. Okay. Next thing we can do is we can set the size of our screen. So to do that, we type screen dot setup, and then we open the brackets, and now we need to type the size of our screen, and we need to give the width and the height. So I'm going to set the width of the screen to 400 and the height to 400 as well. So that will create us a square screen. The final thing we're going to do is we're going to set the color of our screen. So we do that by typing screen.bg color, and that stands for background color. Then we have our open and close brackets again, and within those we're going to type white, and that's going to be in quotes. Okay, so let's run that and see what happens. Great. So that's as we expected. We have our white square here, which is our screen. So you might have noticed that we've used the word white here. So Turtle knows that when we use the word white to make the screen white. So Turtle has a certain list of colors that you can use. But sometimes we might want to use our own colours, colours that Turtle hasn't got in its list of colours. And we can do that. So what we need to do is we need to go to, we want to open up a new tab in our web browser. And we're going to type jump2.cc/color-picker. Okay? So I'll also paste that link in the chat. So we're going to go to that link. And this is going to open the color picker tool. So now that we're on this tool, we can use this to pick any color we want. So it's possible to pick any color using this tool. So I think I'm going to pick a nice green here. So I'll just give everyone a minute to pick the color that they want their background to be. What color are you going to go for, Stephen?
I'm going for a nice orange.
Ah, nice. We're going for very citrusy colors, aren't we?
We are. I was tempted by Redgate red.
Okay, so hopefully everyone has picked a color now. So what we want to do now we've picked our color using this tool, we need to copy the hex code. Now this is the hex code here for this color, so we can copy that. So what this hex code is, so this code here represents this color. So when we use this code, every piece of software that understands these hex codes will know that that code means exactly this nice green that I've picked here. So I'm going to copy that hex code, and instead of using white as my background color, I can paste my hex code in. It's important that we keep the hash at the beginning of our hex code so that the turtle knows that this is a hex code color that it's trying to understand. Okay, so let's run that and see how it looks. Yeah, that's looking very good. It's actually, I think, less of a limey green. I think it's more slime, I think, I've got here. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks good. Cool. So hopefully everyone has their background color set. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick another color for our text that we're going to write on the screen. So I'm going to go back to the color picker, and I think I'm tempted by a kind of orange as well now. So I'm going to pick another color for my text. Yeah, I think that's the color I'm going to go for. So once you've picked another color, we're going to do the same again. We're going to copy the hex code. Okay. Now let's go back to our program. And this time, instead of setting the background color of our screen, this time we're going to set the color of the turtle. Now, you might remember how to do this from before. So to do this, we use the color command. So we type color, then open the brackets, and then in quotes again, we're going to type in or paste in our second hex code that we've chosen. So now the color of the turtle is set to this new color that we've chosen. Great. So we want to write some text on our screen. So if you imagine when you're writing text in, say, Microsoft Word or something, you need to pick the font and the size. So we need to do the same here when we're writing our text. So to do that, we're going to create a variable. We're going to call that variable style. So I need to assign a value to this variable. So I'm going to write style equals, and then in the brackets, I'm going to type 3 things. So the first thing is going to be the font. So I'm going to choose Arial for my font. And that needs to be in quotes. And then after that, type a comma. And then we want to choose our font size. So I'm going to choose 40 for my font size. And that doesn't need to be in quotes because this is a number, not a string. And then we type another comma. And then this one, I'm going to type bold because I want my text to be bold. Okay? So that's our style variable finished now. So now, on the next line, this is where we're going to write our text. So we're going to use a function from Turtle, which is called write. So we have write, and then we open the brackets, and the first thing we need to type in within these brackets is the text that we would like to write to our screen. So I'm going to write hello onto my screen. And that needs to be in quotes again because that's a string. After that, we need to put a comma, and then we need to set our font. So to set our font, we have to write font equals, and then the name of the variable that we used here. So that's style. So I've typed font equals style to set this to my font. After that, I'm going to do another comma, and I'm going to set the text alignment. I think someone's just asked if I can make the text on the screen a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's good for everyone. So after the font style, I've put another comma, and I'm going to set the alignment. So I'm going to type align equals, and that's going to be center, and that's in quotes as well because I want my writing to be centered on the screen. Okay, let's try that out and see what it looks like. Great. So it's written my writing to the screen. That looks pretty good. The only slight problem I can see with this is I can just see the bottom of the turtle sticking out there. We don't really want to see the turtle because we're just writing text to our screen. So after we've written it, we can use the command hide turtle. And then that's open and close brackets with nothing inside. So that should hide our turtle at the end. So if we run that again, great, that looks good now, and you can't see the turtle. So now what we can do, we've got our screen and our writing written there. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to make sure they've got to this point. If you have got to this point, maybe you might want to adjust your colors slightly. Maybe they don't look too good together. So we can pick 2 colors that look really good together, okay? Okay, so it looks like someone has asked a question and they've said, why is it in American? So when we program, because these programming languages are used all over the world, they have to pick one way to spell things. And in most programming languages, they choose the American way of spelling things. So you'll notice when we write the words color, we have to use the American spelling because these are functions that are part of the Turtle package. Okay? And also when we write center as well, that's the American spelling. So whenever we write something in the language that's part of the language, we normally use the American spelling. If your program isn't working, what can be helpful to do is, if you'd like some help, if you click the share button at the top and then you can press link, and then if you copy and paste this link that it gives you here into the chat, then we can see what your code is doing and see if we can work out what is wrong with it. The other thing that is sometimes helpful is if we make a mistake, say I make a misspelling here, so I spelt right wrong, so my program is broken. It will give us a message at the bottom of the screen saying what is wrong with our program. This message can be really useful for working out what's the problem. So maybe you could send what this message says as well, or you might be able to work it out from what this message says. So I'll just fix my program, get it working again. Okay, great. I think we're going to move on now. So using these codes for our colors is really useful because it allows us to pick any color that exists. However, these codes are a bit hard to remember. Just by looking at these codes, I can't really see which one is the green and which one's the orange. So I think we can store these colors in a better way that helps us remember what they are. So what we can do is we can create something that's called a dictionary in Python. So if you think about what a dictionary is, so a dictionary is a book that lists all the words and their meanings. So a dictionary in Python is quite similar. So a dictionary stores things called keys, which are the words, and the values, which is kind of the definition of the word. So I'll show you what I mean. So we can create a new dictionary in our program. I'm going to create it before we've written anything to the screen here. And I need to assign my dictionary to a variable. So I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call it colors. Now you might have noticed here, I've actually used the English, the British spelling of colors rather than the American. That's okay, because this is just a variable name. I can call it whatever I want. So using that spelling in this case is okay. I'm going to set my colors variable equal to open and close curly brackets. So these curly brackets tell Python that this is a dictionary. If I put my cursor between these curly brackets and I press enter, you'll see that it's split them, the curly brackets, onto separate lines, and it's put my cursor in the middle. It's also indented my cursor in here. So that kind of shows us that everything that's within these is part of colors. So next thing I want to do is assign a name for each of my colors. So this can be whatever I want. So I encourage you to be really creative with the colors that you pick, the names for the colors that you pick. So my green, I think it looks a bit like slime. So I'm going to call it slime green. And we want to put that in quotes. We then need to say what the definition of this color is. So use a colon, and then we put a space, and then we want to put the definition of our colour. So we can copy that from here, because this is the hex code of our green colour, and we can paste it here. So now we've got one of our colours in the dictionary. I want to put the other one in there as well. So at the end of this line, I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to write the same again. So this orange, I think this orange looks a bit like an orange. So I think I'm going to call this colour orange, orange. And I'm going to set the value of that colour to this hex code here. Okay, so now I've got my two colours added to my dictionary. So now we don't need to worry about remembering these hex codes because we've stored them in the dictionary. So instead, so we can now delete this from here because we don't need to use the hex code. We can get the colour out of the dictionary. To do that, we type the name of our dictionary, and then we put square brackets afterwards, and within those square brackets, in quotes, we put the name of our colour. So what this means here is it's saying within the dictionary that is called colours, look up the definition of slime green and put that in here. We can then do the same for our second colour. So again, I'm going to type colours, and then open the square brackets, and then in quotes, I'm going to type the name of the colour. Okay, so I'm going to run that again and see what happens. Great. So that looks exactly the same as it did before, and that's what we wanted. But now our colours are much easier to remember, and if we want to reuse our colour, it's much easier to find the name of it rather than work out which of these codes represented this colour. Okay, so I've got a little challenge for you. Can you add a new colour to your dictionary? Okay? So I think I'm going to pick this blue here, but you can pick any colour that you want. Okay, so hopefully you've all added a new colour to your dictionary. So I've chosen this nice blue here. I've added that to my dictionary, and I've called my new colour sky blue. But I haven't actually used my new colour yet. So I'm going to do some more writing on the screen to use my new colour. So I'm going to do this after I've done my first writing, but before I hide the turtle. I'm going to set my colour as the turtle, and I'm going to set that to the new colour that I've just made. I don't think I need to create this style again because I think I want to use the same as this. So I think I want it to be Arial size 40 and bold again. That all still sounds good. So all I need to do is just write something new to the screen. So this time I'm going to write the word world. And again, I'm going to set my font equal to style. And I'm going to set the alignment the same again to center. Okay? So let's try that out and see what happens. Okay, so that's kind of worked. So it has written our word on there, but it's written it on top of our other word. And I don't know about you, but I'm not sure that looks very good. What do you think, Stephen?
A little bit hard to read.
Yeah, I think it is as well. So I think what we need to do is we need to move the turtle before it draws our second word. So I think before we do any writing, I think I'm going to move my turtle up to the top of the screen. So I can use a command to do that. I can type go to and then 0, 100. So what this is going to say to the turtle, go to the specific position. And the first is going to be the horizontal position. So that's left to right. And I'm going to say 0, which is right in the middle. But the vertical position, I'm going to set to 100. So that's going to set the turtle to go upwards. So I'll just run that and check that works. Yeah. So that's moved our writing to the top. The only thing is, I can see the turtle is now drawing as it goes across the screen. That doesn't look very good, really. So we can use another command before we do our go to. And that command is pen up. And that's going to stop the turtle drawing across the screen as it moves. So we'll try that and see what happens. Great. So we've now moved our starting point to the top of the screen, but our words are still on top of each other. So we need to move the turtle in between writing our two words. So in between here, because this is where we're writing the first word, this is where we're writing the second one, we're going to move the turtle. Now, if we remember from before, when we were using the turtle, when it starts, it is facing the right of the screen. So if we ask the turtle to move forward, it's going to move further to the right, and that's not really what we want. So we want to turn the turtle to face downwards. And we can rotate the turtle using the command right. And inside the brackets, we're going to type 90. And that's because we want the turtle to rotate 90 degrees to face downwards. Once we've rotated the turtle, we can use the command forward to move the turtle down the screen. So I think if we move the turtle down 60, that's going to give us a nice gap between our two words. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Great, that's looking pretty good. I'm not sure if I've picked the best colour here. It's a bit hard to read that on my green background, so I might change that later. So what if we want to make our poster a bit more interesting? There is something else that we can add to this. So before we start writing on there, we could draw a circle on the background. So we can do this here because we want to draw the circle so that its center is in the middle. So we want to do this before we move the turtle upwards. And we can use a command called dot. Now this dot command draws our circle. Now I think I want the circle to be nearly as big as the screen, but not quite. So within the dot command, we type in the size, the diameter of our circle. So I think something like 380 will be nice because it will just give us a little gap either side of the circle when it draws. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good, but our circle is black at the moment, and that's because we haven't set the color of the turtle before we draw our dot. So I might pick another color now. I think I'm going to go with this this nice pink. I'm going to add another color to my dictionary. I'm going to set this, I think I'm just going to call this color pink. And I'm going to set that equal to that value. Don't worry if you're not following along, if this is a bit quick. I'll show you how to do it and you'll be able to do it afterwards. So I've now added this new color called pink to my dictionary. And before I draw the dot, I can set the color of my turtle to this new color that I've added. So let's see how that looks. Nice. It's getting quite bright. It now looks like you can't read that orange very well. So I think I need to do a bit of adjustment in my colors. But I think at this point, I'm going to hand it over to you all. I want you to all create a poster. Okay? So remember, you can change all these colors and you can add more. And you can also do more writing. So if we wanted to add more writing here, all we'd have to do is move the turtle forward and write another word. So we can write more on our screen. So if everyone wants to create a poster, and then once you've created your poster, if you click the share button at the top, and then you press the link button, and if you copy and paste this link into the chat, then we can have a look at your poster that you've made. And then at the end, we can share some of the posters that you've all made on the video so that everyone can see your poster. Okay? So I'm going to hand this over to you all now. So I want you to be as creative as you can. And we'll see what you can create. If you have any questions, then remember, put them in the chat and we'll do our best to help. Okay? Over to you. So someone has asked in the chat how we send. So you click the share button at the top of the screen, and then you press link, and then it gives you this link here. So if you copy and paste this link and you send it in the chat, then we'll be able to have a look at your poster. Right, okay, so just a few more minutes to finish up your posters and get them submitted, and then we'll have a look what you've all created. Okay, I think we're going to start to have a little look through some of the posters you've all made. Okay, you ready? So we've got this one. Someone obviously, Python's not the only other language they can speak. They're obviously fluent in Spanish as well, aren't they? That one looks really good. What one do we have next? That one? I will admit, I have no idea what that means. So if anyone can explain to me what that means, I'd really appreciate that. But it looks good regardless. I like the colours. Next one. Nice one. I do as well. I like that. Next, let's take a look. Nice, that looks good. Looks like you've been really creative about using uppercase and lowercase. It makes it look really interesting. That's good. Next one. That's really nice. Not only is that a really nice message, but the colours look really beautiful. I think you should be really proud of that. That's good. Next one. Python rules. That's really good. I really like how the exclamation mark is inside the circle. That's really good. And then the last one I have to show. Nice. It looks like maybe either you've been playing around with Turtle by yourself, or maybe you remember what we did a couple of weeks ago, because you've got your turtle spinning at the bottom. That looks really good. That's really creative. Okay, I think that's about all. I've really enjoyed looking at all your creations. They were really good. You should be really proud. I think that's all we have time for today. So thank you to everyone for following along with that. It's been really fun. And also thank you to Stephen for helping answer people's questions in the chat. So next Friday is a bank holiday. So unfortunately, we don't have a session next week. But we're going to look forward to seeing you at the next session, which is going to be on the 15th of April. Okay, right? I hope you all have a great weekend and have fun playing with Python. Okay? Bye.